today's video, I'm going to show you how to do 3 different types of hems with your sewing machine. Hi friends, welcome back to Sew Obvious. I'm a owner. One of the hardest things to do when you first start sewing is finishing garments. No matter how good you are at sewing, if your finishing isn't well, your garment is going to look homemade. I mean, obviously it's homemade, but you don't want it to look like it is. One of the things that I struggled with the most when I first started sewing was hems. So for the next 2 videos, I'm going to show you guys how to do 6 different types of hems. I'm going to do 3 in this video and 3 in my next video. And I'm going to do a mixture so that you guys can choose whichever one you like the most. So let's get started. Let's start with the easiest and most common hem, which is just the turned hem. The turned hem can be done in a variety of sizes. Today we're going to do it at a 1/2 inch, but it can be done at a 1/4 inch, 1 inch, 2 inch. It really depends on what the garment you are making is. The turned hem is ideal for fabric that won't fray or that already has a finishing on it, such as a serged edge, a pinked edge, or even a zigzagged edge. You can see I did a serged edge. If you don't have a serger, you can do a zigzag stitch right here, or you can even do your pinking shears. Now that you have your edged finished, what we're going to do to hem this is we're going to turn it up into itself and we're going to press. I'm going to do about a 1/2 inch. Okay, now that it's pressed, we are going to take this to our sewing machine and we're going to stitch it at a 1/2 inch. And here we have the turned hem. You can see on this side, I stitched just underneath the serged edge, and it's nice and flat. Now let's move on to the double rolled hem. The double rolled hem is very similar to the turned hem, but it has one extra step. Like the turned hem, it can be done in a variety of sizes depending on what you're using it for. A double rolled hem is perfect for fabrics that don't have a finished edge on them. So if you don't have a serger, if you don't have pinking shears, or if your machine can't do a zigzag stitch, this encloses the raw edge inside the hem itself, and then you don't have to worry about it. For the double rolled hem, we're going to start it the same way that we started the turn hem, but we don't have to finish the edge. We're going to measure 1/2 inch and then press it so it's up against itself. Now that we have this pressed, what we're going to do is we're going to press it up one more time. This way, since this edge here is not finished, it'll be enclosed inside of the hem, and then we don't have to worry about it fraying and falling apart. And here we have the double rolled hem nice and pressed. Now that we've pressed it both times, we're going to go to our sewing machine and we're going to stitch right on the edge of that fold. Again, it's going to be about a 3/8 of an inch stitch. And here we have the double rolled hem. If you look on the back, you can see it's nice and encased inside, so you won't see any fraying. Now I'm going to show you how to do a binded or banded hem. This hem is perfect for adding a pop of color or a contrasting fabric to your garment or your project. This type of technique is very common for collars, sleeves, and hems on things like sweaters. And for a while there was a trend where people were using it as a hem for their skirts. For the binded or banded hem, you're going to need a piece of contrast fabric. There's people who have done this as well with things like lace, fringe. It can really be done with any kind of decorative fabric. Now for the band, what you're going to do is you are going to figure out what size of band you want. I wanted a band that was going to be about a 1 inch once it was fully sewn. That means I'm going to take that measurement, the 1, and double it, which means it's 2 inches, and then I'm going to have to add a 1/2 inch seam allowance on each end. So at the end, when I'm all done, I have a 3-inch piece of contrasting fabric. Then I took that piece of contrasting fabric and pressed it in half. Now that I have it pressed in half, what I'm going to do is put it right sides together with the self fabric. Then we're going to our sewing machine and we're going to sew at a 1/2 inch seam allowance. Now that you have both pieces stitched together, you have several options that you can do for the seam allowance. Like a regular seam, you could press it open. What you could do is you could press it so that the seam allowance all goes up towards the top. You could press it so the seam allowance all goes towards the bottom. I personally prefer it to go towards the top because I think it looks cleaner. Whatever option you do choose, I would recommend that you at least finish off this edge with either a serger, pinking shears, or with a zigzag stitch. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to press them towards the self fabric. And I'm going to go to my sewing machine and top stitch right here. So I'm going to line up this seam right here with the edge of my foot, and it's going to sew it at about a 1/4 inch into the self. Okay, so here we have the finished hem. You can see I did the top stitching right here at about a 1/4 inch away. On the back, I decided to finish it off with the serged edge just to make sure it wouldn't have any more fraying. And that is the Bandit Hem. Make sure to come back here on Wednesday where I'll be teaching you 3 more types of hem. 2 of them will be hand sewn and 1 of them will be a machine stitch that is perfect for stretchy fabric. If you like today's video, make sure that you comment, like, subscribe, share, and ring the bell. You can also follow me on Instagram at @apollylook for any updates on upcoming videos or ideas that I might have for future videos. If you didn't like this video, get over it. Okay, bye.